Today's date is February 12th, 2023, and I'm coming to you guys live from Cancun, Mexico. Um, this is my second solo trip, and it's my first time at an all inclusive resort, which is, if you haven't tried it, you need to try it. But that's besides the point. Um, as I was sitting in the bathtub just now, I would just meditate, contemplating, thinking, and the thought crossed my mind of me thinking about, just how far I've come just based off of my willingness to surrender everything to God. And when the word surrender comes to my mind, the song that I wrote, Surrender, comes to mind. So this song started out as a heartbreak song, to be honest. But then I said, you know what? It's not heartbreak, it's surrender. You know? For instance, in part of the hook, I go, so I'm letting it go. I'm surrendering. I'm giving it all to God. When I wrote that song, it came from a very broken, a very hurt place, honestly. Um, and then also, it just came from me realizing that this whole time, like, I thought what I was receiving from men in my life was love, but honestly, it was care. And the way I learned that was through this book called All About Love by Bell Hooks. I'm going to say it again for those of y'all who don't know about it because you need to get it. All About Love, Bell Hooks. She has a chapter in the book where she talks about the difference between love and care and how oftentimes we mistake deep caring for actual love. And I realized that that's what I was getting um, from men in my life. That goes for men in my family that I'm related to by blood, and of course, romantic relationships as well, you know. So this song was just me basically realizing that and just realizing that I had to raise and up my standards. And by doing that, it's me learning to detach from, honestly, detaching from people in my life, and detaching from that scarcity, that lack mindset that I had when it came to relating to men and relationships and things of that nature. But it was very therapeutic for me to write that song. And it just really, I don't know, it just really opened my eyes, my mind. And it was honestly, it's the first time that I ever wrote a song where I am professing and proclaiming my true desires in it. I say I need a man that's going to yearn and burn for me. Because that's what I do, okay? I be yearning and burning for my man when I have one. Okay? So, yeah, it was a little difficult to be vulnerable and to honestly, you know, um, admit that. But I definitely did have a situation, someone that I was dating, and like I'm the kind of person when I'm with somebody and when I love them, like if any of my exes ever watching this, if I've ever told you that I loved you and that I was in love with you, in my crazy delusional mind at the time, I felt like, and I thought, and I just knew in my heart of hearts that, okay, this is the person I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. We're going to get married, kids, white picket fence, all of that shit. Even though their actions, as far as the shit they did not align with somebody who's going to do that. And my actions, as far as tolerating and accepting it, just further proved that I didn't believe that I deserved it, right? But once I finally had that mindset shift and I realized, okay, you know what? I do I do deserve this. So why am I putting up with this? Because it's a big world and there's plenty of fish in the sea, baby. Okay? So once I realized that, I said, you know what? I have to let this go. No matter how much I love and care for someone, it can't be to my detriment. And I just honestly was not in a dating situation that was mutually beneficial. It just wasn't, unfortunately. But that's okay. I've reconciled with that. And that version of me, she's dead. She's gone. Like at this point, I would eat a jean jacket. I would chew glass before I put up with any of the shit that I put up with. It's like, I'm a goddess. I'm a queen. I'm the empress. Why the fuck would I deal with anything less than what I require? And guess what? I can meet my own standards. But yeah, that's what I was thinking about. Just truly surrendering to God. And that also touches on the interlude for prophecy. And part of that interlude is a prayer. And basically the prayer is me saying, I surrender all my desires, worries, burdens, grief, and anxiety to you, God. And I meant that. I meant that with every fiber in my being. When I wrote the song Surrender, when I tell you a bitch was down bad, like I literally had lost my father and was going through a breakup at the same time. But I'm back. I'm up now. Okay. But it was difficult. It was not easy. And part of me surrendering was honestly going into isolation. It doesn't work for everybody. I will disclaim that. These are, my thoughts, my opinions, and what worked for me. If you're inspired by it, great. If you're not, who cares? But just going into isolation and having the discipline for that. Because let's be honest, sex and people to hang out with and get drunk and get high with, that shit is abundant. That shit's abundant, So for me, it just took true discipline to learn to really, rock with myself, enjoy my own energy, and realize I don't always got to have somebody beside me, to witness my life. I know that when the time is right, love will find me. It's inevitable. I trust God in that. I'm not coming from such a lack mindset where I feel like, oh, let me just take whatever I can get. But truly surrendering to God and letting it go, that means that sometimes you got to be okay being by yourself, no matter how difficult it is. No matter how difficult it is. When I wrote this song, the particular person I had in mind that I knew that I had to release and let go and detach from this person, I grieved that for a very, very long time. Because when I detach from people, they are dead to me. And they have to be. That's just the way it works for me. I will always love them in that space and time that I was with them, that version of myself will. But I have to shed certain parts of me. And that was a part of it. Just simply shedding that. It was not easy. That's why I said in the verse when I said, I really don't want to make this call. Now you got me up against the wall. In other words, you've done so much foul shit to the point where I have no choice. I have no choice. And that's because that version of myself was so fucking stubborn, okay? Because the red flags were there. The red flags were there. However, that version of myself, God knew I was stubborn, so God said, you know what? I'm going to allow this person, I'm going to allow these people to hurt you, neglect you, disrespect you to the point of no return, to the point where there is no going back. And that's literally what happened. That's what happened. And I mean, it is what it is. So this is, I guess, the story behind the music. I used to love that show. Of the song Surrender. If you have a similar story, a similar situation, comment below. Let me know. Of course, like, share, subscribe, and listen to the music and just be inspired by it. If you ever listen to any of my music and you are inspired by it, please reach out, let me know. I live for that. Like I eat that shit up. All right, y'all. Peace. God bless.